Welcome back. My name is Caleb Oliver and welcome to my YouTube channel. Before we get started today, I just want you to leave a comment down below with the word savings. That signifies the amazing savings account that you'll be able to set up just by watching this video. Alright, let's get started. So again, welcome back. Today we are talking about the importance of an emergency savings account. And for the purpose of this video, when I say savings account or emergency account in this video, they are the same thing. So just please click the like button, click the subscribe button, and also click the notification bell. That way you get notified the moment I post my next video. And also leave a comment down below with the word savings. That signifies the amazing savings account that you'll be able to open just by watching this video. Alright, so let's get started. So, you may ask, why do I need a savings account? And what is an emergency fund? Well, it's money you touch only in case of emergency or something really serious happens. So, when would that be? So, for example, that's if you lose your job, or you have an unexpected medical bill, or if your car breaks down. I actually have an interesting story about my car when it broke down and I didn't have an emergency fund. Just stay to the end and I'll tell you that story. It's very interesting. You don't want to be like me without a savings account, so listen to the end to find out what I had to do. And it's just good to have a savings account to cover these things. You prep your money ahead of time so when the emergency comes, you're ready. You don't have to scramble. You don't have to be all frantic. You're ready and you're prepared. So I will show you how to be prepared in this video. And with your emergency savings account, you do not touch this money for fun. You don't touch this money because you want to travel or you want to go shopping or you want to have a night of drinking. This is a separate account strictly for emergencies, and that brings us to number one in the steps that you need to set up an emergency fund. Number one is open a high yield savings account. So a high yield savings account is any savings account that gets you a return of 1.5% or higher. It'll probably be an online bank. It won't be an in-person bank. I'm going to leave a link down below to Markets by Goldman Sachs. That is the bank that I use, online saving bank. And that has been helping me save a lot of money, so I'll be ready in case of emergency with my emergency fund. And to give an example, with a high yield savings account, you have a return on investment of 1.5%. But with your standard savings account, it's only 0.04%. So you can use an online calculator to do this example I'm about to show you, but also in a moment I'm about to swipe over this way and show you a video. So you get to see it in both ways on the example I'm going to show you. So, if you invest $1,000 in a regular savings account, with your standard 0.04% interest rate, after a year, you will only earn an extra $4 in interest, which breaks down to like 30 cents a month. Whoop-de-doo. But if you open up a high yield savings account with, for example, Markets by Goldman Sachs, with the 1.55% return on investment, that $1,000 you invest in the beginning of the year, at the end of the year, you get an additional $15 in interest. That's more than 4 times what you got in the standard savings account. So this is why you really need to open a high yield savings account. That way you get the most bang for your buck and you get the highest return on your investment. So I highly recommend that. Now we have number two. And number two is save 10% of your income. So why 10%? A lot of financial people say 10% is a good number to use. And even when I read The Richest Man in Babylon, that's a book that I do recommend you read. I may do a book review on that sometime soon. It goes back into the ancient days of Babylon. And even back then they said save 10% of your income, and that would be a high enough amount for you to have, for you to save in case of emergency and for you to save into the future. So if it was true all those years back in Babylon times, it's certainly true now because it does still work now. So I encourage you, save 10% of your income and just take it out every check. You can even have it on auto save. You just take it right out. Auto save. In your app, there's an option every month or every 2 weeks, every week. It'll just take it straight from your check, so you don't have to worry, you don't have to think about it. It just takes it out automatically. So I'll give you an example. If you make $1,000 and you get paid every 2 weeks, you would take 10% out of that check. So 10% of 1,000 is 100. You get paid twice a month, so 100 times 2 will give you $200 for the month. And then you take that $200 per month, multiply it by 12 months in a year, and then you have $2,400 saved up. So when you do this, as you build, you start actually saving money. Also, with this 10% rule, you won't even really miss it. It's just a little portion of money that you don't really see, but after a few months, it's like, bam, you have an amazing amount of money saved in the bank that will help you in case of emergency. And the more you earn, the more you can save. So that was just an example on making $1,000 every 2 weeks. But if you make $2,000 in your check or $3,000 in your check, then you take 10% of that, and you'll get to your savings goal even faster. So now I'll tell my savings story. About 2 years ago or so, I finished paying off my car, and the bill to pay off the car was about $200 a month. So when I was finally done paying it off, somebody suggested to me, hey Caleb, you should take that $200 and put it into your savings account. That way you'll have an emergency fund. Don't just blow it as extra money or spend it frivolously. Take that money, save it in your savings account. So I took their advice. And shortly that money grew. It went from 200 to 600, and then it went to 1,000. And over the course of a year, a little over a year, I had $3,000 saved up in an emergency fund. And that really helped me. On the way to a $3,000, I did have to take out money every now and again because my car had some issues or a little medical bill. But I always made sure to replenish that money the next time I got paid. And I was grateful that I had that account, because if I didn't, I'd be struggling and scrambling. So don't struggle and scramble. Set up an emergency savings account so that way you will be successful and you will be prepared in case of emergency. Let's keep it going. So that brings me to number 3. And number 3 is set your savings goal. So some financial experts suggest save $500 to $1,000 to get started. This is a little bit of a higher number. That way you'll start to get some momentum. You say, oh, I have $500 saved. Let's see if I can get to $1,000. Let's see if I can get to $1,500. But overall, what we all suggest is about 3 months of expenses to 6 months of expenses saved. That way, if something really serious happens, you have money to cover all of your expenses without worry. If you lose your job, if you can't work because you're sick, you have some serious medical bills, or you have to take off for an extended period of time, you will have money for that 3 to 6 months to cover all your expenses without having to worry about anything. And I'll also go on to say, 3 to 6 months of expenses is good for someone young like me, young, single, no spouse and children. But once you grow up and you get a spouse, you get some children, you buy a house, you start having all these other financial responsibilities, then I would encourage you to up it from 3 to 6 months to 6 to 12 months, because you have all these other financial responsibilities and you may need more money to take care of those responsibilities. For example, if one of your children gets sick, or your spouse gets sick, or something goes wrong with the house, you have money to cover the issue immediately without worrying or anything. You just cover the issue and you keep it moving. So I highly recommend that. So those are my 3 points. Just stay consistent and you will definitely reach your goal. Now at the beginning of this video, I did hint at a little story I was going to tell you, so let me tell you. I did have some car trouble a few years ago, and back then I didn't have a savings account, so let me tell you what I had to do. So this was October 2018, and I was going through training for the current job I had, and it was at a local hotel. We were in a conference room for training, and we went in for training, and early on the news I did see, okay, there'll be snow. Now usually in New York in October there's no snow, so everybody assumed, oh, it'll be a little flurry, but none of us were prepared for it. Okay, so we do the training. Maybe they let us out like an hour early just because, okay, snow, let's prep. When I went outside, it wasn't just a little flurry. It was like 2 to 3 inches of snow, like snow you can actually step in. I said, oh, let me be careful. I had my old dress shoes on that had no grip, so I had to very carefully walk back to my car, make sure I don't slip or anything. Okay, I get to my car and I see My windshield is covered. Great. I don't have the brush to brush it off because, again, we're not prepared for snow in October. So I do the next best thing. I take my glove off and I start to wipe the windshield. Now, I start wiping it, but my hands get cold really quickly because it's freezing. So I only wipe about like 50-60% of the snow off. I said I'll get in, I'll put the windshield wiper on, and then it'll clear the rest of the snow. So I got in, turned the car on, put the windshield wiper on. But once I hit that lever, the windshield started and then stopped. Just immediate. And I kept hit the lever, and it never moved again. And almost instantly I knew what was wrong because a few months ago this happened to me before too. I knew that the motor was broken on the windshield wiper, and I knew that it was going to be a $150 fix. So to make a long story short, I left the car there, it was fine, took an Uber home. The next day, I came back and just drove the car because the snow had pretty much melted. I was fine. But for the next few days, because I didn't have an emergency savings fund, I had to drive around with no windshield wiper. So I was praying. I was like, oh God, please, I pray it doesn't rain now. Or if it does rain, just let it be a little bit of rain. Let me drive to work and let me drive back safely. And I had to do that for the next 7 to 10 days or whenever that next payday was. I had to wait because I didn't have any emergency savings. And when I got paid, I dealt with the issue. So don't be like me doing something dangerous and just hoping something will go right because you don't have funds to deal with your emergency. Have the money ready so when something goes wrong, you can pay for it and take care of it immediately. Now let me tell you how I would deal with it if it happened today. I would take my credit card, swipe it, pay immediately. I would immediately pay that $150 fee. That way my car will be fixed and I wouldn't have any issues to worry about. Then within that same month, probably within that same week, pay off my credit card immediately. Because by the way, that's how you're supposed to use a credit card. As soon as you swipe, you're supposed to pay it immediately. And soon, very soon, I'm going to come out with another video about how to use your credit card properly. So just click that subscribe button and that notification bell and you'll know exactly when I let that video out, so you'll be in the know. Because none of us should be in credit card debt. I want to help y'all out so y'all don't have to be in debt. Y'all don't have to be paying any extra money to the bank. Don't be doing that. But I would swipe my card, I would pay for the expense, I would pay back my card immediately, and then my car would be fine. I wouldn't have any issues. And then also, the next time I got paid, I'd put the money right back into my emergency account. That way, I'm set for a future emergency. So I would highly recommend that you do that with your emergency fund as well, so that way you'll be all set if something happens. And also, here's just a few other tips. I know many of us are getting a stimulus check. It's going to be about $1,200 or so. So I would highly recommend, if you don't have to use all that money for bills and things, the little bit of remaining money that you do have, take that money and put it into your emergency savings account. That way you'll have money if something comes up in the future. And if you can afford to take that whole check, I would say you take it, put it in there. That way you'll be safe. And if not, pay a couple bills with it, I get it. But whatever money you can take from that, put it in your savings account because that'll be a good use of money. Also, I know a lot of people are filing for unemployment insurance now. The government is giving out the money. That's really good. And I know that there are some people who are actually making more money through unemployment. They're staying home collecting unemployment. They're making more money there than they would be actually getting up and going to work and getting paid. So if you're in that category, I highly recommend you take that extra money that you made, put it right into your emergency savings account. That way you'll be all set if an emergency happens. Don't just blow it on something frivolous. Don't just spend it carelessly. Take that extra money, take it as a blessing, be grateful for it, and then save it in the emergency account. That way you will be all set if something happens. Well, that pretty much brings us to the end of this video, but before you click out, I just want to mention that I am an Amazon affiliate. So if you like to sign up with Audible, please do that. Click the link down below. Audible, rather, is a great service that you can use. You can listen to audiobooks as you run errands in your house, and you get to learn as you're running errands. So it's a great service. I encourage you to check it out. You can click the link down below, sign up for Audible. I am an Amazon affiliate, which means if you sign up using my link, I will be compensated, but at no additional charge to you. So you can feel free to sign up if you'd like to. If you don't like to, that's okay too, but I highly recommend it. Audible is a really great service. Also, before you click out of this video, I appreciate you watching to the very end, but just click the like button down below. Also, click subscribe and click the notification bell. That way you'll get notified the moment I post my next video. You'll be one of the first to watch it. You'll be one of the lucky ones. And also comment the word down below savings. That signifies the amazing savings account that you'll be able to create just because you watched this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.